All right, so a couple of reminders before we get started. If you haven't turned in your goals, they are due. All right, you have till the 22nd.
We have to print it out, right?
You have to print it out, yes, sir. One piece of paper, printed out, computer paper with some goals, kind of following the format of those that I posted on our webpage on Focus. Remember, you're going to get a grade each week for Alex. Those are weekly. Your quiz this week will be on Thursday. Because on Friday we have a scheduled time to go get your pictures taken. So that'll be kind of a broken period. Friday you will have time to work on Alex. We won't be doing any notes, but I would suggest that you get a majority of your topics learned prior to Friday. I updated the rubric for topics learned. It's in Focus, so the top part of it hasn't changed. Down on the bottom has changed a little bit. So take a look at that in your spare time if you would. And today and tomorrow, we're going to be doing some review of solving equations. And today we're going to work on two-step equations. So here we go. We're going to solve each equation. And the first equation that we're looking at is a two-step equation, and it is 2x plus 3 is equal to 15. So when we're solving equations, we're trying to get the variable by itself. And in order to get this 2x by itself on one side of the equal sign, we're going to subtract 3 from each side. So we end up with 2x on the left-hand side. The positive and negative 3 cancel each other out. And that 2x is equal to 15 minus 3, which is 12. And then our next step to isolate this variable is the inverse of multiplying by 2, which is dividing by 2. These 2's cancel out, and we get an x that's equal to 6. And as you all know by now that when you're solving equations, you can check your solution. All right, if you just rewrite the original equation and you substitute the 6 for the x, and then you insert that into your calculator, 2 times 6 is 12 plus 3, and that equals 15. So if the left-hand side of the equation is equal to the right-hand side of the equation, then your solution is correct. So I would highly recommend you check your solution on each of these problems that we do today and throughout the year. We're going to see stuff like 5 equals t over 2 minus 3. In this case, we're trying to get the t over 2 by itself, so we're going to add 3 to each side. Five plus 3 is 8, and that's equal to t over 2. T over 2 means t divided by 2. The inverse of division is multiplication. So we're going to multiply both sides of this equation by 2. On the left-hand side, we get 2 times 8, which is 16. On the right-hand side, when we multiply t over 2 times 2, the 2's cancel, and the t falls down. So our t is equal to 16. You're going to see stuff like 1/2 a plus 5 equal to 18. Again, we're trying to get the 1/2 a by itself, so we're going to subtract 5 from each side. So the 1/2 a comes down. The positive 5 and negative 5 cancel. And 18 minus 5 is 13. And when there's a fraction in front of the variable, you can either divide both sides by 1/2, or you can multiply by the reciprocal. So this time I'm going to multiply both sides by 2/1. And when we multiply the left side by 2/1, these two fractions, we're multiplying a fraction by its reciprocal. Anytime you multiply a fraction by its reciprocal, the product is 1. So the a comes down, and it's equal to 13 times 2, which is 26. Any questions so far? Hopefully it's review.
We're gonna get a study guide.
Excuse me? You'll get a study guide the day before your quiz, yes. Let's look at 6 equals m/7 minus 3. In this case, we're going to add 3 to each side. So then 9 is equal to m/7, because the minus 3 and plus 3 cancel out. Our m is being divided by 7, so we're going to multiply both sides by 7. Seven times 9 is 63. m/7 times 7, the two 7's cancel, so the m falls down. And m is equal to 63. We got 5x plus 12 equal to negative 13. So we will subtract 12 from each side. $5x falls down. The positive 12 and negative 12 cancel out. And negative 13 minus 12 is negative 25. And then we divide both sides by 5. These 5's cancel, and x is equal to negative 5. All right, I got 3 more examples to show you. Let's look at negative x minus 4 equals 9. We're going to add 4 to each side. So our negative x falls down. The negative 4 and positive 4 cancel out. And 9 plus 4 is 13 on the right-hand side. Now our solution has to have a positive variable. So this negative x means negative 1 times x. So we just divide both sides by negative 1. That cancels out these negatives. And x is equal to negative 13. Here we've got negative 8 equal to x over 4 plus 3. First step would be to subtract 3 from each side. So negative 8 minus 3, that's negative 11, is equal to x over 4. And then multiply both sides by 4. Four times negative 11 would be negative 44. And on the right-hand side, the two 4's cancel and the x comes down. So negative 44 is equal to x. All right, and last but not least, we got negative 4x plus 3 equal to negative 5. We're trying to get the variable by itself, so we're going to subtract 3 from each side. So negative 4x is equal to negative 5 minus 3. That's negative 8. And then we can divide both sides by negative 4. These two 4's cancel out. X comes down. And remember, a negative divided by a negative is a positive. So negative 8 divided by negative 4, that's positive 2. And we're done. X equals 2. Any questions? Okay, your practice for today is going to be on page 91. And I'll go over that with you here in just a second. On page 91, we got problems 11 through 22. Upon completion of that assignment, you want to check focus. For an electronic assignment, once you've completed your practice problems and your electronic assignment, or once you've completed your practice problems in class, you can work in the Alex app.
What page is it?
91. Nope, right now, here's what it's going to look like. So here's your assignment. Just write that down right now.